Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Morning Dew, daily events worldwide, and we are on June 1st, 2020. Welcome to another surviving day on this planet. Welcome to the Daily Dew, where we're looking here at space weather right away. LASCO 2 image showing a flare or some kind of coronal mass ejection, quite possibly a plasma filament as well. That incoming southwestern region here, watching at 511 angstroms. As we now have, I'm pretty sure we have 3 active sunspots. 2 of them are about to be Earth facing, and one is forming here on the backside. You can see in another light here all of its activity, and as well its plasma whip. Wow. Our sun is definitely awake. Welcome to the 11-year solar maximum, and welcome in, after this, the grand solar minimum. Looking here at one last light, 304 angstroms. Watch the plasma whip. Wow. Real-time solar wind, we did have an increase overnight up to 400 kilometers per second, and we're steady now at about 310 kilometers per second. So that is a small coronal hole wind speed, but we also do have some space weather heading our way. Looking here, the Enlil spiral showing the incoming and predicted space weather for the next 4 days. That little green dot in the middle of the blue is Earth, and the yellow is the sun, of course. Which makes you realize how tiny we really are. But you can see that CME there, definitely released. Schumann resonance today, we're at a power of 68, I believe. This is the most activity we've seen in a couple days, has been pretty low. But we are at a power of 8 for quality and an amplitude of 63. Look here at the last 24 hours for earthquakes around the world. And I'm beginning to wonder if I'm actually on the last 24 hours, and yes, I am. So yeah, very busy 24 hours, especially when you look at these earthquake swarms. Puerto Rico still going off, but some sizable ones to talk about. Here, 3.0 in Puerto Rico, but there's been a minor 3 points and 2 points. And as well, just west, 4.8 here in El Torito. And that's right under the deep low pressure system heading into the Gulf. 4.1 here in La Playa, Mexico. 3.2 here in Mexico. And in Oklahoma, 2.6. And still the seismicity continues low but frequent through Nevada and as well Idaho across the North American plate. Watching widespread activity across Alaska into the Aleutian Peninsula as the earthquakes have started to really rock the west part of the Ring of Fire. 4.6 here in Russia, 4.3 in Kamchatka, and then moving southward down into Japan, a sizable 5.2. Okinawa, and as well here, the deepest trench in the planet, Marianas Trench, a 5.1, and as well a 4.7 in Guam. Indonesia, a couple minor 4s today, 4.7, 4.3. Moving east into Vanuatu and Tonga, 5.8 recorded yesterday, 128 kilometer depth, and as well Vanuatu here, 48 or 4.8. 117 kilometer depth, and the only earthquake to talk about across the African plate and into Eurasia is the 5.1 in Iran. So very quiet and rare earthquake in the east. Overlooking South America as well, very quiet. So it makes you wonder what is coming, especially with all this activity. West side Ring of Fire, watch for it to rebound to the east. Looking here, the last 7 days, darker red rings are the latest and the white ones are the most recent. Elevated rings are how deep they are. And overall, still looking at a quiet North America and as well quiet South American plate. So stay aware and prepared. Let's have a look here. Pacific Disaster Center here. Most recent volcanoes being updated. Sabancaya in Peru, Sangay in Ecuador, as well Reventador in Colombia, Dokono in Indonesia, Kermiski in Russia. So that's about 7 volcanoes being updated in the last 24 hours. A lot of fires and droughts across the United States are popping up already too. Also observing the large low pressure system, which is just a is a low pressure system now, not even a tropical storm. But it could reform as it heads across Guatemala and into Mexico, and then right into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, El Salvador and Guatemala, Honduras, they've already been experiencing drenching rains and as well as some very extreme storms and hail events from this very intense low pressure system that is heading north into the Gulf. So stay aware and prepared. This could still form into a tropical storm heading northeast. 5-day forecast shows it staggering. So we'll have to see here. We're going to start out here, Central America, overlooking Guatemala and Honduras as this low pressure system still is hanging around, looking at the warm temperatures in the Gulf. And 5-day forecast shows it going over the mountains and into the Gulf, but also throwing off a lot of moisture heading into the east of the Gulf, heading towards Florida. So stay aware and prepared. Florida, you could be on the verge of some very intense storms heading your way and possibly a tropical storm. Western Canada, here, home base, Calgary, Alberta, we had a couple thunderstorms roll through in the last few days, but nothing too serious. Watch for the extreme weather to move into Saskatchewan, Manitoba, heading eastward and straight into Ontario. Definitely going to see some thunderstorms throughout Ontario. Friends and family, get your cameras ready. The website is up, and it's a great place to share your videos and photos with the dew. You may get on the daily dew. Looking here over the East Pacific, that large Pacific low looks like it's not going to penetrate Alaska and go over, and it looks like it's being pushed southward by a high pressure ridge. Watch for that to develop into Washington later in the week. Overlooking West Pacific, no typhoons or tropical cyclones forming. Just long line atmospheric river of moisture stretching straight across the Pacific Ocean. Watch for late in the 5-day forecast for a low to try to pop up here. 5-day forecast showing a little remnants of it. Overlooking Australia, not much to talk about. Very dry, unfortunately. A little bit of moisture. Southeastern Australia. Africa, same thing, very dry. Not much to talk about for daily evaporation rains, except for later in the week. And quite possibly the low pressure system that's coming off of Yemen could head into Egypt, parts of Somalia, and then move northward. Also, this low pressure system here, which did not form a cyclone, which I thought it might, is going to definitely bring an extreme weather event to parts of Nepal, the Mongolian mountains, up into the Tibetan Plateau. And South America. Not much to talk about except daily evaporation rains. Later in the week, watch for this low to develop through Argentina and head straight to Buenos Aires. Watch for an extreme weather is there as well. Central America, coastal regions, daily evaporation rains. That's about it. Overlooking Argentina, you can see there the black That means very heavy snow falling in the mountains of Argentina. And it's starting early, so stay aware and prepared. Something I've noticed over time. Our southern hemisphere reacts the same in the north. A year later, pretty much. Leave you here looking at the southern hemisphere versus the northern. Much love to you all. Thank you all for watching. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your morning dew. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.